The Ice King.
We skalds of Gotland are a runic band. We shape the world with pen in hand. One snowy night by the fire in the hall, recounting verse for the merriment of all, a wind blew down upon us that pummeled the beams of every wall. All felt the mead hall shaking, and our laughter ceased. Fear took hold, the air grew cold, the fire was reft of heat. We poets stood there quaking when the sudden cessation of the wind's ululation descended in silence like a pall. There in the doorway, blue as an ice-rimmed draugar, appeared a Viking skald. It was Orm, the saga man, snow frozen to his brow. He stood in a trance and could not move his lips. His eyes were glazed and stared far off. Time passed at length when he garnered strength and weakly began to talk. I journeyed forth to the land of the north, across frozen plains and mountains, through Gununga Gap to Niflheim, where the Frost Kings lie. As I walked by the light of the moon, my soul was at one with the land of the dark, and my unruly heart at peace in the Ultima Thule. There in the kingdom of cold I came to a portal of old. At the entrance were steps I followed down, descending, always ever descending, through fantastic chasms never ending, to an ice crypt deep in the frozen ground. In this tomb of all cessation there was no hint of life's vibration. By the deadness of the air I knew I had found the Ice King's lair. It was in this cave of frost cathedrals, below Yggdrasil's roots, I met his frozen Draugr corpse. Ice crystals in fantastic configuration, beyond man's power of imagination, adorned his sepulchre. Like diadems they adorned him to commend this father of Nephilim, though in a tomb in the land of darkness they shone with an anti-light, cold blue, ubiquitous, transforming. In the gloom of this ghostly emanation, I gazed upon his face. He turned his head to mine. As I pondered on this mask, his eyelids opened, and he wakened. I cringed beneath his hoary glare, and his lips began to part. Who dares disturb me from my sleep? Forgive me, King, I am but a wayward pilgrim, Orm, the Viking skald. I've traveled a path forsaken, and came to ask you of the secrets you keep. Foolish vassal, he replied, you know not what you ask. Get thee hence, and tell your scalding kind, my message is this. Then from his throat rose a wind like a winter gale, and he covered me and took me up high in the dark night sky. I rode his wings of ice and hail until he set me down at your door, and now before you, here am I. I fear my fate upon me, my end is nigh at hand. Promise you will bury me beneath the doorway of the hall. Then I will guard you with a Viking Galdr song. Orm, I said, we will lay you down as you request, beneath the threshold stone, and bury you standing straight and tall, so you may guard and keep us all. His eyes cast about us madly, then he whispered this to me. Hear what the old one told me as I flew in the stinging sleet. A scalding's words can't shape the world. Your mouthings are an empty bleat. Your scalding quest is wasted. You are fools, whimpering and weak. Again the giant's breath came roaring, desolation and darkness about the poet pouring. Now he lies beneath the door, and when the Dark One comes along, Orm sings a magic song, standing guard for evermore. To remind us of his journey, we carved his tale in runes. When cold winds blow in Gotland, they play a Galdr tune of wind and snow and the Ice King, and how scaldings meet their doom.